Good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here with a sore throat from coughing all day in the last 2 weeks. I don't know what's causing it, but anyway, should feel better when it quits hurting. It is January the 29th, 2026. Open mic. Evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the world. Prove me wrong. Even got my red shirt on, like, the red cape before the bull. I know the bulls are colorblind, but I wear red Wednesday, Thursday, Friday just to antagonize them a little bit, sweetly. I'm trying to get you saved, make you think about the stupid religion you chose and get rid of it. Okay, let's see. We are on Facebook, on Rumble, on X, on our own app, KenHovind.tv, Instagram, TikTok, on a bunch of channels. Just sign up for all of them. They're all free. Here we are, the 29th. Boy, January's about gone, brother. April 16th is the 10-year anniversary of us getting this property in Lenox, Alabama. Before that, I was in Pensacola 27 years. And if you want to come help us finish the ark, come on down. We got work to do. If you want to just play around, we'll let you play for a day or two, but then get out of here and get to work, okay? It's an old-fashioned, independent, temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, radical, chicken-eating Baptist church. That's what I told George Janko. Brother, that George Janko thing's got, what, 370,000 views now? Oh, yeah. If you know somebody that has a podcast wants me to come on as a guest, please give a call to Joseph, 855-BIG-DINO, extension 4, or text support at drdino.com. I want to be on every broadcast there is, friend or foe. Okay. We believe the Bible is 100% true. God made everything in 6 days, about 6,000 years ago. The worldwide flood explains the layers and the fossils that all made in 1 year. Anytime you find a fossil, it's almost guaranteed it came from Noah's flood 4,400 years ago. Petrified clam in the closed position. These are found by the millions all over the world. When they bury clams alive, they can't open. And they die in this position. It takes about 1 year for them to fossilize. In the laboratory, it's been done in 1 day under pressure. Go to Lost World Museum. They've got a lot of stuff on this rapid fossilization on things. John Adolphi did a great job taking over, teaching on that kind of stuff. He died a couple months ago. His wife, Kristen, is still doing a great job of keeping the ministry going. Keep it up, Kristen. Keep it up. Lost World Museum. Okay. 100% true. We believe evolution is the dumbest religion. There's no scientific evidence for it at all. Call in, prove me wrong. Come on down, join our staff for a few days, or join our, we'll be your family if you want to come for a holiday or something. You can help us stay open for free. Join our 777 Club. And I can say, like what you're doing. I'm going to donate $1 a day if you can. We don't ask any particular amount. Just if you want to help, great. If you don't, we're going to do it anyway. So, drdino.com. I got to figure, Joseph, 9.82 years now we've been open. Yeah, coming up on, okay. You made this, didn't you, Joseph?
No, RJ did.
RJ did that? I like that. Whack-a-mole. You got my favorite 4 atheists in there. Look at that. There they are. How'd you get a picture of Emma with her eyes like that?
She was rolling her eyes.
Rolling her eyes? Yeah. Anyway, tonight I'm going to play a little bit of Simon Dan. I've whacked him several times. He doesn't get it. I'm living rent-free in his head. I love it. I can't get him out of my head. Hope he's not right. If there's a God, like he says, I'm in deep doo-doo. Yes, Dan, you are in deep doo-doo if I'm right, aren't you? You probably know that. They probably got a different name for it over there in England. Let's see. Let me play some of Simon Dan. Let's see. Full screen. There.
Ken Hovind is a creationist who likes to take on any and all challenges regarding evolution. And recently he started a new mini-series that he's calling Evolution is a Dumb and Dangerous Cult. Prove me wrong. So I thought I'd take a look and see what sort of content he's producing on these videos. And I was not disappointed with what I found.
Perfect with the tinfoil hat for you, Dan. He goes into his commercial like he does every time. Maybe go up to 2 minutes. Is that 2-minute mark? He's always advertising something. There he is. There. Okay, here we go. Take it away, Dan. Sorry about that.
Notoriety for its work. They were recently recognised by the Nobel Peace Centre for their impact on media literacy, saying it's an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers and expand your worldview, which is exactly
what do they call it? Peddling stuff. Okay.
why we use Ground News as well. You can see every side to every story with access to international perspectives that are hard to find. So then you can make informed decisions where you can read, watch and share the best information available. And Ground News is mission centric. It's not about eliminating bias, but providing better transparency. Informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Subscribe through my link in the description for 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. Right then, on with today's video, which as you saw from the intro is from Kent Hovind. We start as Kent reads out a question from one of his followers about how to deal with an atheist that this guy is currently debating. Let's have a look.
I'm arguing with an atheist now, know-it-all, who claims that science has tried but failed to model the Grand Canyon being created in a catastrophic event such as the flood. Well, first of all, I don't say the Grand Canyon was caused by the flood. Grand Canyon probably came 100 years after the flood.
Well, that sounds marginally less ridiculous, I suppose. But Kent's got a huge problem here, because catastrophic floods don't cause long, winding, perfectly carved canyons. They carve chaotic channels and straight chutes.
So, floods cause straight chute canyons. Let's see. What number am I on here? What can you read that time code, Joseph? No. I want to come back to that, but I want you to notice the name. I'll just leave it there and come over here and go home. Here is the name of his program, okay, is This Creationist Hilariously Thinks That Tides Built the Grand Canyon. Dan, I've never said that. The tides made the layers. The Grand Canyon was carved when Grand Lake overflowed the top and carved it out probably in a few days, maybe a few weeks, but not millions of years. So I don't say the tides made Grand Canyon, Dan. Tides made the layers of the earth, all of them, just about all of them probably, called tidal pumping. Let's go back to Dan here now, okay. It is so fun knowing I'm living rent-free in his head. Clear over there in England. I've never met the guy. But Dan, you're welcome here anytime. I'll debate you anytime. Bring it on. Instead of me whacking you and then you responding to me, let's just get a face-to-face. Let's see, here we go.
The Grand Canyon looks nothing like that. It meanders for 446 kilometers like a river taking its sweet time, because that's exactly what happened.
I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay, is that the question? Let me go to Grand Canyon here. There. Talk about Grand Canyon for a moment. I've been there many. My material on your channel. All your viewers are getting just a taste of truth. About time. Good, I appreciate that. Okay. A lot of you atheists do that. You play a lot of my stuff. I appreciate that. Time studied it avidly. I taught her science 15 years. Grand Canyon, without a doubt, is a really big hole in the ground. No question. About 5 million people a year visit Grand Canyon. What are they being taught? There's a bunch of them on the platform there, lined up to get in to see Grand Canyon. People say, oh, go see Grand Canyon. It's great. The Indians dance around there. Learn geological history. That is baloney. You learn propaganda. There's no such thing as a geologic column, okay?
The geologic column isn't some imaginary totem pole that researchers dreamed up.
Simple question. You guys have never answered it. I'll make it real simple for you. Let's see. Where'd my geologic column go? Oh, here we go. This comes from the textbooks. They teach this. I've got hundreds of textbooks right here in my library if you want to come check it out. They say that the layers are different ages by millions or billions of years. The top layer is only 10,000 years old, the Holocene. This one down here, Jurassic. Wow, 150 million years old. So where was all that dirt hanging out, waiting to land? How can that dirt be a different age than that dirt? How can you guys not see how stupid that is? Every speck of dirt in the world is the same age. Whether 6,000 or 6 trillion, we can argue that later. But they're all the same age. All over the world, petrified trees are found standing up, connecting all the layers. They've never even tried to answer it, have they? Go on to something else. Yeah. You know, I know why too. Ready, Dan? Here you go. This is you. How do you do these with the English accent? Okay. British accent, I'm sorry. Okay. Put Dan back up there, brother.
It's simply the combined record of rock layers observed around the world. You don't
So we don't see the layers all in one spot, but they're from around the world. So if they're from around the world, they're still the same age. Every speck of dirt in the world is the same age. Dan, how can it not be? Where is it coming from? Outer space? Moving it from, one atheist said, well, no, that's the age when it got laid down. So we moved it from here to here. Oh, and that changed the age. So let's see, Joseph, watch this. Watch this. Ready? Deck of cards. If I shuffle them up, the two of diamonds is the youngest. It's on top. And the oldest is the three of clubs. Yeah. Try it again. Move them around. Now the king of clubs is the youngest. Moving it to a new location does not change the age. Duh. They don't get it.
need every layer stacked perfectly in every location. You correlate them using fossils and radiometric ages.
Whether you're dating them with fossils, your whole primary assumption, your starting point's wrong. You're assuming they're all different ages, and then you want to date them by either radiometric dating or fossils. And remains, where are they coming from? Dan, how can the top layer be younger? Stop and think. I wonder you needed help to whip the Germans that year. Okay.
Sediment types and unconformities. And actually, ironically, the Grand Canyon is one of the clearest real-world demonstrations of the geologic column.
2.8 mile trail. Kids go down and they're brainwashed into believing it took millions of years. I'll show you here. Come on, Scouts honor here. Come on, boys, follow me. We're going to go down here and we're going to see all these plaques that tell you how old this is. Trail of time at the Grand Canyon. By the way, I'll debate any of you park rangers anytime, okay? You're lying to the kid. You don't know it, but you are lying to the kids, okay? You probably really believe what you're teaching them, or you have to keep your job. You walk down the trail, and they got these markers every so often. Oh, this is 1,800 million years ago, 1.8 billion. Whoa, okay? You go down this trail, and they got all these markers. Pure baloney.
Now Kent's mocking the sign that says 1.8 billion years old. But that number comes from the Vishnu schist. Now that sits at the canyon's base, and it's been dated using several independent radiometric methods.
Dan, it doesn't matter how many different ways you date them. Where is it coming from? If it's only 1.8 billion years old, and the bottom layer is, let's see, what do they got for this one here? Bottom layer is 2.5 billion, and that one's 1.8 billion. Where was all that dirt hanging out for 1.7 billion years, Dan? Where was it? Outer space? I don't care how you dated it. It can't be right. Where was it? Every speck of dirt's the same age. Get one of these things, Dan. I don't know if you have a Walmart over there, but if you tip it over, it'll make multiple layers in a few minutes. Are the layers different ages? Is the top layer younger? They're all the same age. All over the world, petrified trees are found standing up. We show that many times, polystrata fossils. Just Google polystrata, multiple layers, polystrata fossils. There are thousands of them. Trees standing up, running through all the layers. Dan, I don't care how you found a number to put on it. When I was out there, I flew down to the bottom of Grand Canyon in a helicopter, paid $50. We got down to the bottom, and the guide said, folks, we just went back 3 billion years. I looked at my watch. It was the same day. We didn't go back at all. I want my money back. Yeah.
These methods don't care about what anyone believes. Uranium decays into lead at a measurable, consistent rate.
As far as we know, uranium decays to lead at a consistent rate. I agree. Do you know how much was in it when it started? You have to guess at that, don't you? You know the decay rate's always been the same. You know there's been no contamination. We cover all the so-called dating methods on my video number 7. Dan, Creation Seminar, Part 7. All the decay, all of the radiometric methods were invented after World War II, when the atomic bomb blew up, you know. Carbon dating, potassium argon, lead, lead 208, lead 206, uranium 238. All of them are based on the same obvious assumptions, that you can know how much was in it when it started, and you can't know that. And there's been no contamination, you can't know that. And the decay rates remain the same, you can't know that. But you guys, you want so badly for the Bible to not be true, you will grasp at straws.
You can run the samples in different labs and get the same age. Calling that baloney doesn't overturn nuclear physics.
I don't claim to overturn nuclear physics. You're based on some obvious assumptions. Think about it. How can you know how much was in it 1.8 billion years ago? You can't know that. They have the different layers of the canyon marked off. There's the river way at the bottom down there, okay? Here's all the layers. We have all the sandstone and limestone formations and all that stuff. Kaibab limestone. Notice there's limestone in here quite a few times. Redwall limestone, Temple Butte limestone, Mauve limestone. How do you tell the difference? Oh, by the fossils. I understand, yeah. It's your stupid geologic column in the fossil.
Having repeated limestone layers is not a problem. It's exactly what you'd expect when an area is covered by shallow seas multiple times.
During 1 year, you think parts of the world would be covered with shallow seas, and then the crust of the earth is all broken up like an eggshell, so pieces of the crust are flexing up and down and around all during Noah's flood. There might have been some parts come up above water for a time during Noah's flood. All we know is Noah was in the ark for a year. We don't know that the whole world was covered with water for a year. You can't possibly know that, okay? So I think that there would be some areas that would be just shallow seas. Limestone would form. It then gets submerged deeper. The moon, the whole time the moon is pulling the tide up and down. Actually, we're spinning under the moon. So that's going to make a phenomenon called tidal pumping. The water's rushing in and out of the tidal bulge. Yes, Dan, all those layers formed in 1 year. Watch Experiments in Stratification. Can you play that at the end of this one, brother?
Not at the end of this show, but we have it on our website.
We got it on our website?
Yeah, I'll repost it.
It's 40 years old. I doubt it's copyrighted anymore, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's up.
It's from the University of Colorado. They had a big, huge tank, and he poured sediments into moving water. And it formed 8 or 10 layers prograding downstream. The layers don't form this way, they form this way. Watch the video, Experiments in Stratification. Your whole geologic column is stupid. Stupid.
Over hundreds of millions of years, sea levels rise, limestone forms. Sea level falls, erosion or new sediments form. Sea levels rise again, another limestone.
Sounds like the flood with the tide going up and down, doesn't it? Yeah. All the layers we see are sedimentary rock, and there's no erosion marks between them, and there's no soil buildup between them. These layers didn't sit there for millions of years waiting for the next one to land. Each of them was deposited a few hours or a few days apart. Each tidal pumping would cause that.
Actually, there are multiple paleosols or ancient soil layers. Not every environment produces soil, of course.
And go look at the Grand Canyon. I've been there many times. There are no soil layers built up between any of those rock layers. They're all stacked like pancakes. Rock, 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 rock. No soil. What happened? If it's that there, if they're really millions of years different in age, don't you think it's going to rain once in a while in a million years? Maybe cause a few erosion marks between them? Nope. Check it out.
And not every surface is exposed long enough for soil to form. Most of the canyon's layers were deposited in marine or desert environments, where soil, of course, simply doesn't form.
Textbook says over millions of years, the Colorado River carved the Grand Canyon from solid rock. This is baloney. It's a fact Grand Canyon exists. It is not a fact that took millions of years. There's the evolutionist interpretation and the creationist interpretation. Evolutionists say it formed slowly by a little water and lots of time. Creationists say it formed quickly by lots of water and a little bit of time. And the evolutionists are always trying to erase the line between their theory and the fact. And they try to ignore the creation point of view, okay?
Kent frames this as two interpretations, the evolutionist one and the creationist one, as if both explain the canyon equally well. But geology isn't a matter of voting. The canyon isn't interpreted one way because people prefer it. It's interpreted that way because the evidence matches one model and completely contradicts the other.
Dan, you're either lying or stupid. I'm sorry to have to say that publicly in front of everybody, but you don't know what you're talking about, okay? Let me just go to some pictures here. Get Dan up here. Okay. I'll show you. Where'd they go here? There. You said when a flood would form straight canyons. This is the Toutle River Canyon, formed by May 18th, 1980, Mount St. Helens eruption. The massive lateral blast, subsequently mud flows, rapidly carved deep canyons into the thick layers of volcanic ash. You need to study Mount St. Helens, what happened out there in Oregon. All right, let's see. Mount St. Helens. There we go, Spirit Lake. The rivers that flew out of it, that were formed, rapidly formed canyons, and they're not all straight. Question, Dan, I got a question for you. Is this canyon straight or crooked? Which is it? Started off pretty straight at the top, ended up pretty crooked at the bottom, didn't it? Looks like a Democrat down there. Okay. So, Dan, I'm sorry, you're simply mistaken. You need to go back and take earth science from somebody who really understands it. The whole earth is about 6,000 years old, Dan. The flood made all of it. The Bible predicted you guys would come. 2 Peter chapter 3. Knowing this first, in the last days there shall come scoffers. And they're going to be willingly ignorant of the creation and the flood. Okay, well, somebody sent me another question, Joseph. Let's see. I remember one time you taught about how tree rings don't exactly measure the age of trees. Can you explain that so I can teach my friend here in college? Okay, so let's see. Let's go to this one. How'd I get over there? Let's see. Seminar part 1. I can't find it now, Joseph. I do this every time.
It's all right, we got somebody in the studio.
That's the time. Okay, hang on. Alt TV. Okay, good. The oldest tree. Let me cover this real first. This is, as far as anybody knows, the oldest tree barely hanging on there, barely living. A comment from a scoffer on X 8 hours ago. This is back last fall, or last spring. He says, a single bristlecone pine has been growing since 3000 BC. The Methuselah tree's been growing for 4,855 years. No, whoever the scoffer was, a Snippy. It has 4,855 rings. They're not annual rings. We got this log in our museum out here, bristlecone pine. That's the kind of tree that they're saying is 4,800 years old. We got one that's got 700 rings. See? But tree rings are not actually always annual layers. Trees can form 2 rings or 3 rings in a year. They're seasonal. Occasionally, trees produce more than 1 ring in a year. Extra ring is called a false ring. If you have a drought in the middle of a growing season, it puts up a hard ring. Multiple ring growth per year in bristlecone pine. Let's see. Who was this one? Dave Madsen. Yeah, I'll debate him anytime. Again, Dave, bring it on, okay? Let's see. It might interest you to know that trees go back at least 8,000 years without being disturbed by Noah's flood. I think you're mistaken there. I think 4,800. Now, the Bible says the flood was about 4,500 years ago. So if that tree is 300 years older than that, if it really is, guess what? I think the trees could survive a flood. Couldn't they? We don't know that the tree was underwater for a year. Like I said, the crust of the earth was broken up. Some parts might have only been underwater for a few weeks. How long would it take to drown everybody? How long can you tread water? Yeah. I was lifeguard 2 summers. I could swim for a long time and underbreathe, to hold my breath for a long time, but I couldn't go for 3 weeks treading water. I don't think so. Okay. So, different locations on the mountain affect tree ring growth. Really? Yep, you're right. Let's see, this is Dave Madsen's comments. Trees go back 8,000 years without being disturbed by Noah's flood. Again, go any place where there's been a flood. Thousands of trees survive just fine. They can be inundated for a few days, a few weeks, not a problem, okay? Overlapping tree rings of living and dead bristlecone pine. Turns out such things as rainfall, floods, glacial activity, they show up in the rings, really. So they take overlapping ring patterns, and they want to stretch it back beyond 4,400 years to try to prove the Bible wrong. See, trees on opposite sides of the very same hill can have different growth ring patterns because the windward side gets more rain, the leeward side does not get the rain. You need to take earth science class on that one. So you could have a tree on one side of the hill that's much faster growing than one on the other side of the same hill because of this phenomena. The Coriolis effect of the wind patterns. Prevailing wind or rain patterns cause different growth rates in different trees growing right near each other. Prevailing wind patterns. Disease. One part of a forest can be diseased right beside a disease-free area. There's an example there. Whole center part of the forest got wiped out. The trees are growing. How many trees did we lose to the... Neil, you cut a bunch of them down. The bark beetles came through South Alabama. I bet we lost at least 200 or 300. But some of them didn't die, did they? Some did, some didn't. Let's see. Overshadowed. A tree growing in the shadow of a big tree will have different growth rings than the guy right next to it because he's bigger. But as soon as the big one dies, the little guy can take off. You can't be careful about tree ring dating, proving something. Trees can have different growth rings because they're in different soil. Good soil, bad soil, right next door. Soil conditions next door can vary and cause different growth patterns. General Sherman was thought to be 5,000 to 6,000 years old. They found out it's only 2,000. I don't remember the date on that article. I forgot to write it down. World's largest tree, younger than they thought. It's only 2,000 years old. Wow. Here it is, General Sherman, 2013. 2,000 years old. Interesting. 2005, General Grant moved up a place in the giant sequoia size. Grant tree is closer to 1,600 years old. Folks, it's not an exact science counting the tree rings. Okay, don't let them tell you it is. Many trees can handle a week or two of flooding without long-term problems. Tree species vary wildly by flood tolerance. One extreme, trees that are native to floodplains like cottonwoods can withstand months of inundation. Methuselah tree, oldest known non-clonal organism, 4848. Interesting. This textbook says 4,300 was Earth's oldest organism. Oldest individual tree in the world, Methuselah, 4845. Okay, there's the Methuselah tree, bristlecone pine. Still, why isn't there a 50,000 or 200,000 year old tree? Why does it just happen to fit close to the Bible range? Great bristlecone pine. Well, see, 6,000 years ago, God made everything. 4,400 years ago, there was a flood. And some trees might have survived. Obviously, the seeds did, and they kept growing, but the tree itself might have survived. But they say 370 million years. How could there be a tree with 5,000 rings? Trees produce more than one ring a year. Some might have survived the flood. Some might have been ripped out and rerouted after the flood. That can happen too. Rip them out, move them downstream, and they grow again, rerouted. Why are there no trees with 25,000 or 200,000? If 6,000 is an inch, 370 million would be a mile, be a big tree, a mile wide. Anyway, okay, Joseph, got somebody in the studio? I'm gonna have to quit early, my throat's still killing me, but go ahead. Oh, headphones, let's see. Yes, hello, hello. Nope, no volume, audio, nope.
Is that better?
There we go, okay, good.
Okay. I had a question. When you were talking about how the disciples were asking him, when are you coming and what's the sign? What's he talking about in Matthew 24:34 when he says that this generation will not pass until these things have taken place?
The generation that sees these signs is not going to pass. So several interpretations of that. Matthew 24, this chart doesn't go up to 34, I get my Bible here, but he said they're going to see the Son of Man coming. That generation, those very disciples, saw him come in his glory when he was transformed before them. So I think if you read Matthew Henry commentary on that, he's got a great commentary. There's at least two, maybe three possible interpretations that all work fine to interpret that without saying there's a contradiction in the Bible. Does that make sense?
So do some people just think he was talking about the generation that was living at that time?
The generation living in that time, his disciples and how many other people saw him transformed, on the way back to heaven. He was seen later in the book of Acts, he was seen of 500 at once. Before he left, there was 500 people that saw him during those 40 days after his crucifixion and resurrection until his ascension. Hundreds of people saw him. So maybe that's the generation he's talking about. Okay?
Okay. And then the second part of the question was, what made you change your trib stance, and why did you not see it before?
I was brainwashed believing that the Schofield Bible, all those, I was taught that from the time I was a brand new Christian. Here's my original Schofield Bible I got after the preacher got after me about having my Revised Standard. I had to rebound twice. They can't do it this time. But Schofield Bible says the rapture takes place before the tribulation. Now, that's in the footnotes, not in the Bible. I guess I was so busy on other stuff, I didn't take time to really search it out. I got
you.
I read Roland Rasmussen's book 5 times. Where's it at? Joseph is here? Somewhere here. It's over there, yeah. The pre-trib, post-trib, pre-wrath rapture. I read that while I was in prison, and I tried hard to prove it was wrong.
Okay.
I still wish it was. I don't like the idea of going through tribulation. Pain hurts
Okay.
me. I try to avoid it.
And I've got one more quick one, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I've heard you talk about it before, but I don't think I quite get it. The dinosaur bones they find, you're saying there's carbon found in them?
There's carbon frequently found in, and sometimes soft tissue. Not just bones are found. Skin is found, tendons, muscles, food in the stomach.
So how does the evolutionists explain how it's still in the dinosaur bones if they think they're 70 million years old?
I've never heard them give it an explanation. Have you, Joseph? They go on to a new topic. What do they say?
They say they didn't demineralize it. Their claim just the other day was they demineralized a stone, and that's where they come with the soft tissue. But it's blood cells, it's for real soft
Yeah, but why is there still carbon-14? There's even carbon-14 in diamonds, which can't be contaminated. There's a lot of articles on that topic on ICR.org. They got a laboratory, they do this kind of stuff. ICR, Institute for Creation Research. ICR.org, check that. They'll find 50 articles on answering that question.
Okay. I'll check it out, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We have Dinosaur Adventureland piggy banks. They'll be up on the website soon. If you want to get your kids to start saving money, it says Dinosaur Adventureland, where God gets glory for his creation. Pretty cool. This one came with money off of Joseph's desk. How many think we should, keep it? All right. More?
Couple questions.
Okay. Which Bible should I get? Absolutely the King James, the old King James Bible. Watch my video number 7 for why. The other ones are all good translations of the wrong manuscript. It's like a good translation of Playboy would still be a bad book. Okay? I covered the 2 manuscripts. The website deals just with that topic is AV authorized version, avpublications.com. Watch that one. Okay? We're the kind on Twitter live. God bless. Well, thank you. Question, is the Ark of the Covenant still buried? As far as I know, the Jews are afraid to touch it. They learned from a guy named Uzzah back in the Old Testament. He was unauthorized, and he grabbed the ark when they put it on a cart, and the oxen stumbled, and the ark was going to fall off, and he grabbed it, and God killed him. So the Jews, they know where it's at, but they're afraid to touch it. Yes, right under where Jesus was crucified. His blood ran right down under the mercy seat. I completely believe the story about Ron Wyatt. I forgot to check on Nell Wyatt today with that horrible windstorm, snowstorm they had. Nashville got clobbered. Straight south of Nashville is Spring Hill, Tennessee. That's where Ron Wyatt's widow got remarried. Her last name is Lee now, but he lives right there. Got a museum in the basement with some of the blood samples there. Jesus' death was fulfilled 483 years later. Daniel, I don't understand that.
The question is 483 years or 483 lunar years?
I guess I never thought about it. I don't know. How much difference is there?
Sounds like a Sabbath question.
Yeah, let me do some research on that when I get time. Good question. Don't have an answer. It's Chris that spoke to you a few days ago. I'm loving this Chris Deaver. Okay, well, good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Tell other people about it. That's all we ask. Spread it around. Our pastors only taught pre-trib and told they can only teach pre-trib. Oh, some denominations, yeah. If I was in certain denominations and I switched to be post-trib, pre-wrath, they'd probably execute me, you know. Well, they'd kick me out. That's why I'm independent. Some people say, other people don't like what you teach. Well, tell them to go teach what they want. Get your own channel, do what you want. Just like you atheists, if you don't like God's rules, go build your own planet and do what you want. Plenty of room out there. Well, you can't use his space either, though, or his material. Start from scratch like he did. Do our resurrected bodies have the imperfections of, or I hope not. I've had back pain every day of my life since I was 17 and got hit by that car. I was sitting perfectly still in my little Toyota Corolla. A Toyota Corolla Sprinter. Loved that little car. It would go 0 to 60, maybe, if you're lucky, okay. And sitting there perfectly still, a big old Grand Am. Remember the old Grand Am, the full-size model, you know? That thing came and hit me from behind he was going 50 or 60 miles an hour. It knocked my car, I think they said 100 feet. I woke up in the hospital under a sheet. I thought, I said, I'm not dead. They said, we know, we're sewing up your eyebrow. They had a sheet over me with a hole in it for. I'm not dead. That's the first thing I remember. Man, it broke my back at T6, just cracked it, okay? And I've had double whiplash, and yeah, I want a new body when I get to heaven. I'm trying to get as many miles out of this one as I can, but it don't go quite as fast and work quite as well as it used to. Why do you tell us not to feed the bears in American parks? Well, then they get used to coming up to people. And if somebody comes up that doesn't have food, they'll get angry and eat them instead. That's my guess.
This came in the other day. I forgot to ask you. Can you retell the story of when you fell on the asphalt, scraped up your...
Retell the story? I don't remember how old I was. I rode my bike over to one friend's house, and the chain broke or something. I forget what it was exactly, but so I called Mom. Can you come get me? She said, sure. Mom comes over, and there's no room in the car to put the bike. I said, Mom, I'll sit on the bike and hang on the side of the car, hang onto the door handle. She said, we're going to go from Morton back to East Peoria, 4 miles on a freshly blacktop road. And I'm going to, no. She said, that's stupid. I said, Mother, my brothers do it with me all the time. And my older brothers did that with me all the time. You know, looking back now, I know they were trying to kill me. But at the time, I thought it was fun. You go 40 miles an hour on a bike, you know. So just hang on to the car. So I'm on the passenger side hanging onto the handle, you know, and hanging with my bike. And she's driving along. Every once in a while, she'd look over at me and make sure I'm fine. I don't know what happened for sure. Something happened, and the back wheel stopped turning, as best I know. But in less time than I can tell it, the bike was gone out from under me. I tried frantically to run 40 miles an hour. Only succeeded for about 1 step. And I fell down, and now, I don't know what, I either did not or could not let go of the handle of the door. So she's dragging me along in the blacktop. Freshly, hot bubbling blacktop, you know. Mom looks over and realizes I'm gone. Oh no, she was dragging me through the gravel first on the side of the blacktop. Oh no, I might run over him. She wisely swerved to the left to miss me, only I was still hanging on. So now she's dragging me over the hot bubbling blacktop. So they took me to the hospital. We'd been there many times before. They knew us real well at the hospital. The doctor said, what happened to this kid? Mom told him the story. He just shook his head. He said, I'm going to need 4 nurses in here. Bertha, Matilda, Gertrude, and Zelda. Come on in. Into the door came the biggest nurses I've ever seen. He said, you hold his left leg, you hold his right leg, you hold his right arm, you hold his left arm. They pinned me to the table and began scrubbing the cinders and gravel out of my arm. I tried frantically to kick them fat ladies off. I couldn't do it. They had me outweighed about 40 to 1. Finally, when they got all done, he said, okay, nurse, wrap him up. And they wrapped me up and sent me home. When I took the bandage off, I don't know, a couple of days later, I noticed they missed a spot. I still have gravel right there in my elbow. And if you think I'm going to go back to the hospital, let them fat ladies hold me down, you're mistaken. I've lived with it for a long time. I'm going to keep it. Okay. When they die, the buzzards can pick around it if they don't like it. Okay. How many of you did something dumb when you were a kid? Come on now. There, everybody, okay. That's enough. I can hardly talk. See you tomorrow night. Thank you. Bye.
How computers came to be. But you cannot use man as your answer. I only want a purely naturalistic explanation for the origin of computers. Purely naturalistic. The answer has to lie